All right, so for today, what we're going to do is write equations for graphs when we're given a graph. So we learn how to write an equation when we have slope and y-intercept, that's m and b, and we use slope-intercept form. We learn how to write an equation when we have slope and a point, so we use point-slope form. We learn how to write an equation when we have 2 points, also when we have a table of values. What I'll do is I'll make sure I go over the homework tomorrow for 6th period, accelerated. So I'll go over the homework for that 1 through 10 that you actually did yesterday or last night. And for a first period, second period, and 7th period, what we'll do is we'll do the 1 through 10 in class tomorrow when I get back, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So the things that you need to know in order to write an equation, you need to know the slope, and you also need to know the y-intercept. From a graph, I mean, it's probably the easiest thing you ever do in math. From a graph, you will step 1, you do step 1, which is identify the slope, which is m, and the y-intercept, which is b. Again, those are the two things you need to write a linear equation, and we're gonna be using the form y equals mx plus b. Always when given a graph, you never have to worry about point slope form when given a graph. And you're gonna write your equation in y equals mx plus b form, like I said. Always. All right, so to identify the slope when you're given a graph, you're going to use rise over run from one point to another. To identify b, all you do is tell me where the line touches or crosses the y-axis. Basically, there's no work on this. I'm just being honest, it's none. So let's go ahead and look at number 1. But make sure that you're pausing the video and taking notes as needed, okay? So I'm going to put a copy of these notes also on the Google Classroom page, so you can pause the video and go back and, work it on Kami if you would like, okay? All right, so on 1, I'm going to identify the slope by calculating rise over run first. Remember, a rise can go up or down. If it goes up, it's positive. Down, it's negative. A run is for rise. A run can go left or it can go right. If it goes left, it's negative. If it goes right, it's positive. And it's like going from one destination to another. So I have a habit of starting from my bottom point. You don't have to, but that's what I do. And I'm going to color code my points. So I'm going to start from the point that's in red and rise 1, 2, 3 units. Because my rise is positive, because I went up, my rise is positive. And then I'm going to run to the right, only 1 unit to get to the green dot. So my slope is 3. So I know here M is 3. And to find B, all I do is just determine where it crosses the y-axis. This part of the graph is the y-axis. So I can see the y-axis and this line meet right here at my red dot. And that's at -1, -2, -3. That's a -3. So that's a y of -3, guys. Let me erase that. They meet right here at a y of -3. -1, -2, -3, just to show you again. So then you just write your equation in slope-intercept form. So slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So we're going to end up replacing m. And we're going to replace b. And that's it. But we already have those. So we're going to write y equals 3x. And because b is -3, we put -3 and we're done. That's all you do. All right. If you take a look at 2, I'm going to pick out b first. It's the easiest thing to do. B is this point right here. It's where the line touches the y-axis again. And that will be at +2 on the y-axis. I'm going to calculate the slope. I'm going to use that point. So I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3. So I have a rise of 3. But be careful of the run this time, because you have to turn and go to the left. Left, 1, 2. So if you go left, it's -2. So my slope is -3/2. Doesn't matter where the negative goes. You can leave it with the 2. You can put it with the bar like I did, or you can put it with the 3. So when you write your equation, you're going to write -3/2 x. And because this is a positive, you're going to put +2. Remember, it's in the form y equals mx plus b. And you're just replacing m and b. All right, what I want you to do is pause the video and open up the notes that are also attached to this assignment and try 3 and 4 on your own. And then you're going to unpause the video and see if you got your 3 and 4 correct, okay? So, and when you get ready to open up the notes that are attached, you may have to open it in Kami, click on it, and create a copy before you can actually type on it, okay? All right, let's take a look. This is what you should have had. All right, your B is this point here. That's 2. And your slope, again, you calculate rise over run. I'm going to go down this time because somebody may be going down and over, down and left or right. So let's just take a look. So if I go down from the purple dot to this orange one, I'm going down 2 units. That would be a -2. And then I'm going to the left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. That'd be a -5. But a negative over a negative is a positive. So it's +2/5. So I'm going to write the equation y equals to 2/5 x plus 2. Now, if you don't like going down and left and right, of course, you can always start like I do. I normally start going up from one point to another. So I'm going to go up 1, 2. You would have gotten a rise of +2. And a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Either way, you get +2/5, guys. And let's take a look at 4. So on 4, my y-intercept is +1. And on 4, I need to calculate rise and run. So I'm going to rise 1, 2, 3. It's going to rise 3. And then I'm going to run to the left 1 to get to that point. So that's -1. Of course, you always simplify your fraction. So 3 divided by -1 is -3. And I write my equation in the form y equals mx plus b. I simply replace m and b. So m is -3 and b is +1. So that's the equation. Okay, I'm going to skip 5 and 6 for now. Your job is going to be able to, you're going to have to do the ones that I don't do. And you're going to work on those in class. I'm trying to find a particular one. Okay, no. Okay. Right, I don't have anything that's different on for the rest of those. So, what you're going to do, I've done graphs 1, 2, 3, and 4 with you. So what you're going to do to finish up these notes, you're going to do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on your own. But I'm going to do number 13 with you too, okay? So hold on. 13 says, which graph represents the line y equals to 1/3 x minus 2? So what you do to pick out the graph is you look and you see, you look for your slope. Your slope here is 1/3. And your y-intercept, or your b, is -2. So you look for a line that crosses the y-axis at -2. That's the first thing you're going to do. Okay, so if I look at A, it crosses the y-axis at 2. That can't be that one. If I look at B, it also crosses the y-axis at +2. Can't be that one. So my answers will lie between C and D. All right, so now, since I know my answers lie between C and D, I'm going to go over here and say, okay, between C and D, which one of those has a slope of 1/3? In other words, if it has a slope of 1/3, from one point to another, it's going to rise 1 and run to the right 3. So what I'll do is I'll put some points on C. So I know 0, -2 is a point that I can read. And 1, 1 is a point that I can read. And I'll calculate that slope and see if it's actually 1/3. So that's a rise of 1, 2, 3. Well, this is a rise of 3. And that's a run of +1. But 3 divided by 1 is 3. It would only be 1/3 if the top number is smaller than the bottom number. Okay, since the top number is bigger, I have to divide it and I get 3. Okay, so this is actually the equation y equals to 3x minus 2. So it's not C either. All right, but to prove that it's D, again, I got to have a slope of 1/3, okay? To prove that it's D, I'm going to put a point at 0, -2. And I see I can name this point at 1, that's 3, -1. So as you can see, I'm rising 1. And I'm running to the right, 1, 2, 3. So that slope is 1/3. So this is the equation y equals to 1/3 x minus 2. That's D. And that's exactly what I was looking for right here, okay? All right, what you're going to do is figure out on number 14 which equation goes with this line. Let me see if I have others like that. Okay, so